Randy Newberg has put out a e-scouting series, and it's really good, and I recommend it to you all to watch. It's about 2 hours long, and we're going to actually look at episode 8, where Randy Newberg starts talking about his 5 elk seasons, and I'm going to simplify it for you if I can, just a little bit. Randy's got a great product, and I'm going to put up a link to it here later on in the presentation so that you guys can actually watch the whole thing. Anyways, he starts off, and Randy always talks about bulls' primary needs, and they're kind of obvious. We know what they are: food, water, sanctuary, shelter, and security is what he always says. And then seasonally, they also need breeding. They also need the cows. They get that urge, and that's what we capitalize on most of the time. All right. So these are Randy's 5 elk seasons. There's the early season, which is August, and there's the pre-rut. And if you want to know more about the elk's behavior in these seasons, watch the Randy's full series on it. But there's the pre-rut, which goes from about October 1st through October 10-ish. Then the peak rut, the pre-rut goes from about September 1st to about September 10-ish. And then there's the peak rut, which goes from about September 10th through October 10th. And then there's the post-rut, which finishes out October. And then there's late season, which is November, December, and everything on after that. All right, let's go back. Bulls' primary needs, we said, were food, water, shelter, sanctuary, security, and breeding. And we're going to take these 4 primary needs and we're going to put them into these 5 seasons here, and hopefully make some sense out of it, and make it just a little bit easier, a little bit more simplified for us that still do addition on our fingers and toes. All right, let's talk about the early season, August 1st through August 31st. So about all of August there, and these dates are not hard and fast. Bulls are still in bachelor groups, and the primary need is food and water. They're not into the cows quite yet, but they're in bachelor groups, and this is bow hunting season, so keep that in mind. But they want food to bulk up for the coming rut. Water, because August is hot, especially in the southern states. If you find water sources, you'll probably start finding bulls. And during the summer rain, so they're probably at a higher altitude. And then Randy also says that they could be in the lower canyons too, if that's the only place where they can get water. Moving on to the pre-rut, which is September 1st through about September 10th, bulls' primary needs shift from food and water to food, water, and breeding. Okay, but breeding comes on as a need as the rut approaches, so it shifts during that time. Food and water is still important because that's where the cows are, and the bulls will start to mix with the cows. So Randy says, if you find the food and water, you'll find the cows, and if you find the cows, you'll find the bulls, which makes sense. All right, now this is the fun part, as Randy says. Peak rut, September 11th through October 10th-ish. Bulls' primary need is breeding, and it's all breeding, and that's all they care about. But they need the cows, and where are the cows? Where the best food and water are. So we're still looking at food and water. By association, bulls are still near food and water. The post-rut, October 10th through October 31st. And this is something about the pre-rut and the post-rut. The pre-rut wraps up really quickly, according to Randy, and then the post-rut slowly dies off. So it's a little bit a longer period there for the post-rut than the pre-rut. Bull's primary need is sanctuary at this point. Usually alone, they haven't bachelored up again. So they're starting to also transition to the winter range at lower altitudes, and it depends on where you are again, and whether, storms come or not, or is it a warm fall. Okay, late season, November 1st and later. And actually, oddly enough, Randy believes that this is actually an easier season to hunt than the post rut. We'll get into that just in a second, but bull's primary need is sanctuary. Again, that's all they're going to need food and water, but sanctuary is what they're looking for. They've been shot at for about 2 or 3 months now. They're done with it. They're back in the deep woods. Late season differs from the post rut in that the bulls are starting to bachelor up again. And the fact that they're starting to bachelor up means that they might actually be easier to spot than singles. Which brings us to the simplification. This is what I've broken it down to. August 1st through August 10th. Primary need is food and water, whether it's because of them personally or because that's what the cows are looking for. August 1st through October 10th, primary need is food and water. October 10th through the end of the season, the primary need is sanctuary. Don't forget, they will need food and water. So, they're not going to be holed up in a cave not eating, but they're going to be deeper into the woods come October 10th. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.